Hey guys, I am preparing to go live here. Bear with me, just checking to make sure everything's working. First time doing this on both YouTube and Facebook. Looks like I'm live on Facebook also. Very cool. All right, we got some things to do here before I come in frame. Namely, get something out of the fridge. And I gotta set up my phone for streaming to Instagram. That's this guy. Instagram live. There we go. All right, guys, we are live on 3 platforms. Been wanting to try this for a little while now, and tonight's the night. So we've got Instagram Live, Facebook Live, and YouTube, of course. I would like to interact with you using this other phone. So let me move this thing out of the way. And I'll get on YouTube. I'll be interacting on YouTube, so I'm not going to try to do all the things. I'm just going to do YouTube for you guys. So I'm just going to do YouTube for you. A little replay of my words there. So hopefully some more people jump on here tonight and we can get our Sunday service going. I need to mute myself over here because I hear an echo. Going into the cup here, we've got Tin Cup American whiskey made in Colorado. And it is raining, and I was out all day. Get in frame here for you. You get sweatpants, John, tonight. It was raining and miserable. Well, it was a lot of fun, but miserable weather, as you know, they say. I was out at Roush Creek Off-Road Park today with Mount Zion Off-Road, doing some video and some off-roading. Took the school bus out. It was a ton of fun. If you saw my stories on Instagram, you saw a picture of my Jeep. If you follow at Mount Zion Off-Road, you saw some more content going up there on their stories. That was me posting throughout the day. It was soggy, but there were some breaks in the weather, so not a big deal. But everybody got kind of wet. One guy broke his drive shaft. People got mad that the spool, no, nobody got mad, but the school bus hurt some feelings, as it tends to do. But what you gonna do? Hey, Mark. So I was waiting for Mark to come on here, Malarkey Taylor, to give it a little shout out because I'm able to do this. By the way, Mark, how's the video quality? Stream is in HD. That's my boy. Mark Malarkey Taylor hooked me up this week. Well, I bought the stuff, but he hooked me up with his time to come out here and get a wireless access point installed in the shop. I'm not that far from my living space outside of this, but it's not connected. And I've just been relying on whatever Wi-Fi radio waves can find their way into this building. And when I added this insulated door, it really cut down on what I can get in here with that door closed. So I was kind of relying on having this door over here open, which is sort of the right direction, but still, there's metal walls, there's insulation now, there's metal insulated doors. It's been a challenge to get to do anything, to even stream, music out here. So sounds like we're rocking in HD. I would imagine my bandwidth is going, it's pretty pegged anyway, putting 3 streams to 3 different places. So it's that's awesome. Thank you, Mark, for your time and getting that all set up for me. Also, guys, well, let's just get this out of the way. I really didn't purposely wear this sweatshirt. It's just, anything that I wear pretty much has somebody's branding on it. Yankum ropes, you guys have heard of them, but if you want to help support the channel, if you're thinking about getting a Yankum rope, there's a link in all my latest YouTube videos to go on Yankum's site and make your purchase there. What doesn't get you a discount, unfortunately, I'm sorry. Though right now, I think through the end of the weekend, they're doing some kind of Black Friday sale. So check that out. That's all I'll say about that. I do want to talk to you real quick about Pine Grove Premium Outfitters. The other shirt that I'm wearing. Pine Grove Premium Outfitters is my friend Jimmy. And Jimmy started Pine Grove thinking that he wanted to be like an off-road shop that did builds, that did, selling all kinds of gear and everything else. And while that may happen, currently his focus is going to be on making awesome apparel. Check out pgpoutfitters.com, and he's got a pre-order going right now for a super cool Sasquatch hoodie. I know some people that will watch this are definitely into that. So it's a really neat design. It's a super high quality hoodie, and any purchase right now through his site enters you to win a Warn Xeon, I believe it's a 10S winch. Try finding a Xeon winch to begin with in any kind of timely manner, but the 10S is going to be an extra hot ticket. So any purchase with him puts your name in for winning that winch. Jimmy has been a longtime sponsor of the channel. We've been friends for several years. He's been in a couple of my videos. He has the Ford Ranger. One of the videos too, he had a Dodge Ram 2500, but he's a super cool guy. He likes to wheel, and he has PGP, which has, like I said, been a sponsor of the channel in a few different ways. So that's all I will say about that. I've been saying too much already. We're back on this guy. I don't really have anything burning that I want to get done on this, but I'm going to pop the hood and find something to do. The last couple days I have been chipping away at wiring, so I'll show you that and talk to you about that. If I remember correctly, I was telling you about the wiring harness, and for those of you that didn't get to watch the last live stream, by the way, I haven't done any videos specifically on this. I apologize for that. My video for today got sabotaged by technology and was supposed to be telling you guys all about how this came into my life and my plans for it. So I'll save some of that for that video. But basically, I recorded something, have a bunch of footage of me getting this in Utah, getting it in Pennsylvania from Torque Masters, unloading it here, and a bunch of really cool photos of it too. So I was putting together an episode for it, and basically all of the talking stuff that I shot for it was no good. So I apologize for that. And then I was trying last night till late last night to get a different episode from an adventure up together for you guys, and that didn't work either. I just ran out of time. So there will be a new episode soon, and it will either be this or that adventure, which that adventure features a familiar face that you'll all be happy to see back on camera. I mean, you can probably guess who that is. But anyway, so wiring harness for this I got from Walks 4-Wheel Drive, which is WALCKS, and they make and source a ton of parts for every Jeep. I believe from the first Jeeps ever made, whatever year that was, all the way through like the 70s, maybe even into the 80s. I think they say till current, but they don't. What they really source parts for is the older stuff that people are restoring. So they have all kinds of stuff for this particular model. You could basically build one of these out of a catalog, and they are actually pretty local to me. They're within an hour of my house. They're super cool, easy to deal with, and best prices that you'll find on this stuff. They make these harnesses themselves. So I can't really move my camera rig around too much. I probably could a little bit, but you'll just have to take my word for it from where you're standing. This is all new, and it's identical to what was here. It's really cool to me that so much of this stuff on this Jeep is just original. So I would have thought that like the electrical tape that was on this part of the harness was something that somebody had added because they messed with it. Not the case. Everything that was here, there were some wires that were added. There was one like those god-awful vampire clips that somebody put in off of one of the lights. I believe this was used as a plow vehicle at one point. So somebody, that's pretty much all I could tell that it was added. Somebody added lights, I think. As I said last week too, it was converted to 12 volt. So it would have been a 6-volt battery and 6-volt ignition system. That was all changed to 12 volt with a 12-volt generator, 12-volt starter, 12-volt regulator, and coil. So, but really, they just tapped that all into the original wiring. So I've got this is the main harness. It's kind of hard to believe. It's like 7 wires. Main harness, which goes from basically the light switch and the horn switch through, of course, the dimmer for high and low beams, and to the headlights and marker lights. There's no turn signals. So no turn signals, and there's no key start. The starter is a kick start, which is not like a motorcycle, but there's a pedal on the floor that you push that is just linkage to the starter. And then there's also a switch that goes to the master cylinder down here. The couple things I need to figure out with that wiring is there's there's a little wiring harness that goes to the brake switch, and I think what I'm going to do tonight is just kind of sort out what's what from the rest of the harness that's here. So I'm guessing based on its length that this one goes to the back. That's going to be for the tail light. Yes, one light. These things are that simple. And I was telling my dad, who is the one who really I can attribute to my mechanical inclinations and early learnings to my dad. He knows way more about carburetors and that kind of stuff than I do. He likes working on old cars. He has several old carbureted vehicles. And I was just telling him like how I find this therapeutic working on this Jeep, because it's not, well, first off, it's not terribly rusty. So turning a bolt isn't like, oh gosh, it's going to break or it's going to be totally stuck. So there's, that helps it be kind of, not annoying. But the fact that it's just so simple. Like it's just enjoyable to be, there's 2 wires that go to the horn. There's 2 wires that go to the high beams and 2 wires that go, well, one wire that goes to the high beams, 1 wire goes to low beams. They ground into the chassis right in the headlight bucket. Like, it couldn't be more simple. And so I just find this to be pretty therapeutic working on this thing, because it's just so basic. So I have a diagram from Walks that gives all of the, it's not really a schematic, that kind of is, but it tells you in text what each of these wires goes to and how to find it. Hey everybody on Instagram, I'm just peeking around at my phone here, seeing who's on. And some people joining and leaving and joining. By the way, right after this, which I'm going to wrap this up here in... Hey Dan, yes, Mark's correct. I am installing a wiring harness. I mean, I'm not gonna hard cut this off at any specific time, but I try to keep these around half hour, 45 minutes. But after this is over, I'm going to jump on a Discord video server with people that are part of my Patreon. So, I always feel like the Bible salesman telling people about something like that, but realistically, that's one of the cool things that we do on Patreon, and I want to do it more frequently, and that is just video hangouts with whoever can join. So around 7:45, I'm going to hop off of this. I'm going to go straight onto Discord, and we're going to chat it up and hang out over there. So if you're interested in being part of that, Patreon there's no minimum. The only minimum is what Patreon sets it at, and that's $1. And you can join for a month, see what it's like, and hop off if you want to. Doesn't matter. It's up to you. Patreon is for you guys. I will not lie to you. I'm not making any kind of substantial income from Patreon. But I really appreciate the people that do pay to be part of that. So we will eventually get to be doing some cool things on Patreon beyond. I share photos with you guys there, and I share... we do the video hangouts as often as possible. So what I'm going to try to be doing is every Sunday after Sunday service, we'll jump into a Discord chat for at least a half hour. All right. So wiring harness. Let's see what we got here. I'm dropping small pieces already. I think this one is part of the right side harness. So basically, they give you a dashboard diagram, which is super helpful. Show you what should be on your dashboard, because a lot of times they've been modified or messed with. The other thing that's super helpful, they show you what holes are in the firewall and what should be going through them, because again, people mess with things. Back to how original this thing is, I don't think anything was out of place, and I don't think anything was missing. There's one hole in the firewall that's supposed to be blank, so that's there, and it's blank. Nobody even had any wires run through it. Nobody wired up a stereo in this thing, thank God. Nobody cut a DIN hole in the dash and put a AM radio in there. They probably just carried a little battery powered radio if they needed music, I don't know. I cannot talk and type at the same time. Who else has that problem? That's not just a me thing, right? Okay, so there's a few different harnesses that they give you here, and this is laughably simple. It's really cool. There is the main harness, which is the bulk of this page, and it's really not even that many wires. There's 18 different call outs on that, but there's not 18 wires coming out of this. Some of them split off from other things. So there's the right side harness, which is what comes through over there. And I still have a piece of the old one. Annoyingly, that screw comes through behind the heater box. So I have to pull that out to be able to undo that one because it's just spinning. So main harness, right side harness, chassis harness, headlight harness left and right, gas gauge, which is one wire, okay, 2 wires, and the generator voltage regulator harness. That's it. Oh, wrong. Parking lights left and right, horn, wire, and steering column, which I don't think I have. I'm just going to put a button for the horn. There's a dash light, and there's the distributor coil. Okay, this one I believe is distributor coil. Black, 2 tracers, goes to the coil negative terminal. Black, 2 white tracers, 1 goes to the distributor. No, it's 1 wire. So 1 goes to the distributor, 1 goes to the, yeah. That's easy enough. Let's put that on. I wasn't 100% sure that this coil was originally mounted to the side of the engine, but apparently it was. So, also, I don't know what you can see and what you can't between the different streams. I've basically been working on this thing with these tools. So, something else to be said for the simplicity. Oh yeah, I tried to turn this, and I couldn't because I needed a 3/8 wrench. My shop is small, if you couldn't tell. 3/8 wrench. That's why you'll see me move weird kick things. That's not original. It's an original end on it. But that's an original wire. Garbage. So that is on the distributor. This end is on the coil, negative coil terminal. By the way, last week I was pulling the radiator out. I flushed that because it's been warm. So I was able to flush that out. It was not awful and seemed to flow really well. So that's good. It looked really banged up, but I think it's honestly just from like bugs and stuff, maybe branches and leaves hitting it from driving through fields and woods and whatnot. But I believe I'm going to be able to use that radiator. I didn't like hold pressure to it, but I blew some air into it and put my hand over the outlet, and it was holding probably 10 psi. Doing that, and I didn't see any water blasting out of any of the tubes. So what I'm going to do with that is I'm just going to try to straighten out all the fins that are kind of funky on it and send it. I'll probably, hook a bike pump up to it and pressurize it just to feel better about that. But cool. So we've got the right side harness, which comes over here to the voltage regulator, and it also goes to the starter, I believe, and it goes to coil. So coil to distributor. There's 2 wires on this generator, which I'm not entirely sure how that translates to a 6-volt. I imagine it's exactly the same, just putting out more voltage, but I'm not 100%. That one doesn't want to turn. I don't know that this came with the wires to hook that up, but I haven't gotten that far, so maybe it did. Hi, Instagram. Nobody on Instagram. Oh well, I said hi. How's the stream on the YouTube and Facebook? Let me check Facebook. Is anybody on Facebook? Comment if you're on Facebook. That'd be cool. Okay, moving on. Let me know too if you've tried Tin Cup whiskey. It's one of my favorite just like sipping whiskeys for being an inexpensive whiskey. I'm not going to pretend to be some whiskey connoisseur, but I like that one a lot. So let's see here also. That's the coil distributor. I'm not working on the dash light right now. I'm not looking forward to getting underneath that dash. Thankfully the seats come out easily, and I'm going to bring like my mattress out or something to get up under there. Should be a... I'm not going to do a live video on that. No. Parking lights. We've got green with no tracer. Terminal black on the fender. To the light, maybe? These guys? Is there two of these? Yeah. Oh, cool. Okay, so this one goes to the right side, and this one goes to the left side. I'm not going to try to hook those up tonight, but that's those guys. Horn wire would be a black wire with one white tracer. This? Yeah, probably. Black wire, one white tracer. You can see that from where you're sitting. That's a single white tracer, and that's a double white tracer in that black one. So that I believe is going to be the horn. You know what I'm going to do? Just to make it easier on myself, because I don't know if I'm going to even use this one for sure. If I don't, at least I can know later on what it was for. And I'm looking for masking tape right now. Facebook. Is it working on Facebook, Mark? Hopefully on Instagram you can hear me okay. I'm running a microphone for YouTube and Facebook, but you're just using my microphone on the camera. It's not like it's noisy in here. It should be okay. Turn up the volume if you need to. Horn. This one I've been curious about. What do you think that one's for? It's got a spring on it. And I believe that's just an isolator. That would be the contact, kind of like a post on a battery. We've got a single red wire with one tracer. And we've got these three, green, red, black, equal length. Let me, markers. Marker lights. Okay. That's everything on this page. Side harness, chassis harness, green, red. This is green with 2 tracers, red with 3 tracers, and black with 2. And this red is like a 10 gauge wire, I would say. Red 3 tracers, 12 gauge. Black 2 tracers, 14 gauge, and green 2 tracers, 14 gauge. Okay, this is generator stuff. So, guessing these go between the generator and the voltage regulator. I don't have to guess. It says that. I literally read that. Sorry. Okay, that one goes over there. I may need to remake that one or remount the regulator because those don't look long enough. Cool. I'll figure that one out. Gas tank is the single red wire. Easy enough. And that so that goes from sending unit to the gas gauge. Left terminal on the gas gauge. Got to figure out where that goes in here, but that's the gas gauge. Cool. Yes. All right, and then the chassis harness is going to be that first long one that I had that was hanging on the windshield frame. Hey, we got 5 people on YouTube. I just looked at that for the first time. That's really cool. Thanks for being here. All right, so I'm still trying to figure out what this wire is. Black, no tracers. Black 2 tracers, blue, yellow, green, red, blue, 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 black, green, red, blue, 2 tracers. All right, I was reading that wrong. Just to correct what I said before. There's not 18, there's 9, and it's each end. So it's telling you what's on each end of each of these. Very helpful. So yeah, so there's still a mystery what this one is for. Green. Oh, that makes sense. I don't have a horn button. If I do, I'm totally oblivious to it. This is the horn button contact. So this actually would replace whatever is inside of that horn. And that makes sense. So however that works. But that's the contact, and that explains the spring horn. All right, I think I've got all the wires figured out. So the one that goes chassis harness, I don't even know how it's routed. Underneath, I guess. Most of the wires to the back are kind of gone. So I'll have to figure that out. There's a couple, these are a good indicator. They actually have these pretty close to where they belong too. But yeah, this is going to be the chassis harness. So green goes to the brake light. White goes to, or red goes to the I'm running out of propane. I was wondering what that groaning sound was. Green goes to the brake light. Red goes to the tail light. And those connect, of course, to the brake light switch and the headlight switch. Cool. So, and switch on this. All right, I'm not gonna run that tonight, but there you go. Die already. Okay. You probably can't hear that, but it sounds like a jet just took off, which is weird because I live like 4 miles from an airport. Usually you don't hear that stuff. All right, I'm kind of out of things to do on this here tonight, so I think it's time that we sign off. Didn't really accomplish much of anything. I put a wire on. I did put a wire on. So, yeah, again, just to talk, if any of you are here since last time I said this, Patreon folks are joining me now for a little Discord video hangout. So we're basically going to do what I'm doing now. I'm not going to work. I'm going to hang out and chat with people. But essentially this, but you can talk to me. I don't have to look to see if you sent me a message. We can two-way talk. So if you're not part of Patreon and you want to be, Dirt Road Therapy, patreon.com/dirtroadtherapy, and you can hang out. What I'm going to be doing is as often as I do a Sunday service, except for, of course, if I've got something going on that I can't stay afterwards, we're going to do Sunday service at 7, and then do Discord from like 7:30, 7:45 for about a half hour or so. So that's where I'm going now. I will see those of you who will be there over there, and hope everybody has a great night. Thanks for watching. Helps if you do the thumbs up on this video and watch some of my other stuff too. I'm super close to monetizing the channel, guys. I know some of you probably have no idea what I'm talking about or have assumed that I've been monetized for a long time. I have not. You are required to have 1,000 subscribers, which I hit a while ago, and you're required to have 4,000 watch time hours before you can join the YouTube Partner Program. And I have been slowly racking up those watch time hours. Doesn't seem like that much. 4,000 hours seems like it should happen pretty quick, but for whatever reason, it's been taking a while. But I'm like 50 hours away. So thank you guys for being here. Thanks for watching what I do, giving me an audience. I appreciate it. See you next time.